Hello everyone, this is John Jovin and I'm going to be taking you through the week 4 assignment where we had to review the paper, the journal paper or the conference paper. So mainly I looked for the paper to review and I landed on this one, which is Risk Management Framework for Real-Time Monitoring of Vehicular Engine Health. So this paper is mainly talking about using of machine learning in order to monitor the health of the engine. So let's start right away in order to save time. The key points in this journal paper were mainly artificial intelligence, industry 4.0, that is the era of the industry, which is not quite too old, which is the current era of the industry, which the industry is in. Then risk management, vehicle engine health, and decision making. So those are the key words that were included in this journal paper. So the abstraction, I'm going to take you through the abstraction. The paper addresses the challenges of vehicular engine irregularities affecting competency, productivity, and economic growth. So the main problem that was being solved was the vehicular engine irregularities, which were affecting competence, productivity, and economic growth. The paper also emphasizes the need for a risk management framework to assess vulnerabilities in transportation infrastructure. So they're mainly focusing on the weaknesses in the transportation infrastructure by using a risk management framework. So the authors proposed a risk management framework that employs machine learning and deep learning algorithms. So we're going to be looking at this risk management framework that is mainly employing machine learning and deep learning. Specifically mentions that the use of stacked SM of deep learning algorithms for decision making. So we're going to be using machine learning and deep learning in order to develop a decision model that will be predicting a faulty or a normal engine. So that was the main thing that the authors in this journal paper were carrying out. So the introduction mainly, let me take you through the introduction. So the evaluation involves assessing the decision model's effectiveness in real-time monitoring and diagnosing the vehicle engineering. So they are mainly focusing on developing a model that will be used in real-time monitoring and diagnosing of the virtual engine or the vehicle engineering. So they achieved the accuracy of 80.3 decision accuracy of the training data, which was 80% of the data they had. So the authors highlighted the importance of AI in addressing the virtual engine irregularities in the industry era of 4.0. So we know that the 4.0 industry era is the current era of the industry that the industry is in right now. So they are mainly focusing on the virtual engine irregularities in this current era of the industry. So they propose a comprehensive risk management framework. So a risk management framework means that the virtual engine or the vehicle engines, it's a risk to come to the road while your engine is faulty. So it's a risk management framework whereby they are going to be monitoring the engine while it's on the road. So it's real time. They're going to be monitoring the engine real time. So they're not first going to operate on the engine when the vehicle is not on the road. So that's the risk management framework, which is mainly focusing on the weaknesses that will be identified in the vehicle engine, and they will be using a decision model, which will be deciding either a faulty or a normal engine. So the objectives of the paper were as follows: an AI-based virtual engine health monitoring system. Risk management framework is proposed to monitor real-time virtual engine health. So they are going to be monitoring the vehicle in real time, or that's the current time when it's moving. So utilizing vehicle engine vulnerability components or vulnerable points. So they are going to be looking at the weaknesses of the vehicle engine. Those are the vulnerable components or vulnerable points. A comprehensive experimental study is carried out in order to verify the efficiency of the proposed recommendation. So they're going to be carrying out an experiment in order to focus on the efficiency of what they have recommended or the recommendation. Using the proposition great future opportunities for the automotive sector to advance. So they want mainly to improve the automotive sector in order to go away with accidents on the road by by using real time in order to monitor the engines of a vehicle or the truck. So the problem researchers aim to solve where the automotive industry faces a significant challenges related to the vehicle engine manipulators. So the main aim was develop a model or decision model that's going to decide a faulty or unfaulty engine. So depending on the specific characteristics that I'm going to mention as we go on. So that was the main problem that the authors of this journal paper were focusing on. The machine learning models used, so the machine learning models used, those were the machine learning and deep learning algorithms, which was the risk management framework using those algorithms. So they also decided to develop a decision model, which was to look at the vulnerability assessment model in order to decide whether it's a faulty or a normal engine. So the decision model categorized engine conditions into segments such as good, minor, moderate, or critical. So this classification provides a comprehensive understanding of the vehicle health status. So for you to understand the health status, they're supposed to classify the engine to into different classifications of good, minor, moderate, or critical. So the model evaluation metrics applied, the paper emphasizes the use of machine learning and deep learning algorithms, particularly a stacked SM of deep learning, showcasting a decision accuracy of 80%, which I've already talked about. They are mainly using machine learning and deep learning, whereby they created a decision model and they got a decision accuracy of 80%. That implies that what it predicted was the accurate prediction. They highlight the importance of real-time monitoring of vehicle engine conditions. So the model evaluation metrics was applied in real time. So they monitor the engine in real time. Every time it's moving, they monitor its what? Its health. Emphasize the predictive capabilities of the model by mentioning their ability to diagnose and categorize engine conditions as good, minor, moderate, critical, which I've already talked about earlier. So the model evaluation metrics applied, this is just a continuation. The model also considers risk factors such as, so the model is not only looking at the vulnerable points, but it also considers other factors such as engine age, damage, reliability, that's whether it's new or old, negative impact on the environment, mounted part conditions. So those are the parts that are mounted onto these engines, which can be new, used or old, and other characteristics of this engine or features of this engine. So all that stuff, that's what the decision model is supposed to depend on in order to give a conclusion of the health of the engine. So the strength and the weaknesses of the model and evaluation metrics. So let us first look at the strength, predictive capabilities. So the model was able to predict because it even reached at the accuracy of 80.3%. So it has that predictive capability of predicting a faulty and a normal engine. So real-time monitoring, as I've been talking about this, the model is able to monitor the vehicle engine in real time. So integration of vulnerability assessment. So the model is able to look at the weaknesses of the engine. Those are the vulnerability assessment in order to predict the health of the engine. Utilization of AI and Internet of Things. So model utilized AI by using machine learning and deep learning. So the model was also applied in the industry 4.0 era. Hence, that is the current era. So the weaknesses was lack of specific evaluation metrics, limited decision on model performance, dependence on vulnerability assessment. So it was depending more on vulnerability assessment more than the other characteristics, potential bias or assumptions. So in conclusion, the presented real-time risk management framework for the vehicle engines, the very engine, vulnerability assessment, and robust decision model demonstrates promising outcomes because it managed to get 80.3% decision accuracy in the validation phase. However, it is crucial to acknowledge the limitation of not conducting real-world testing, which may introduce variations in practical outcomes. Despite this drawback, the proposed risk management framework holds substantial promise for enhancing the automotive industry. So it stands as a valuable guide for the development of reliable risk management systems, extending its applicability for automotive vehicles, electric vehicles, and railway systems that handle extensive data. Further real-world validation is recommended to solidify its practical effectiveness. So that's it, guys. That's my conclusion. And these are my references. So we meet next time.